What's up, guys? This is the MMA Complex. My name is Josh.
And I'm James.
And we are back with a brand new episode. It's been a little minute. We took most of September off. Came back from our San Jose trip over at Bellator 206, Combate on Friday. But overall, we are back. Glad to be back. What's going on, man? How's everything?
Guys, trying to get into
Good,
the
right?
swing of things. I'm dying a slow death right now, but
You're-
we both work overnights. Well, you work overnights every
but
day.
you're
I'll do it
limited
once.
time. So yeah, our schedules recently have been chaotic, and I think it's been tough to schedule stuff. But yeah, you've been recently going overnights, and it's a mission to really get used to those hours.
Yeah. You always have to be on a sleeping schedule, or else you won't survive.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm doing overnights. I work overnight hours, 11 to 7, 11 to 8 in the morning, 5 days a week, about 5 days a week actually. So that sixth day on my days off, normally I have them back to back. That sixth day, I'm asleep all day. Like I usually just have one day off a week. I have one day to catch up with sleep, and
That's
the
horrible.
next day to just kind of do what I need to do. But then my sleep is thrown off, so I got to catch up before I go in the next day. So it's just,
Do you work tonight?
yeah, I do actually. I do work it tonight.
That sucks,
I
man.
leave around probably it's 7 p.m. right now in Los Angeles. I'll leave around 10, 10:30, 10:30ish, 10:20.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. But no, I mean, when you do it consistently, you get used to it, and it's easier to manage. And I'm only going to do it until maybe December time to when the baby comes. But after that, I'm going to change up my schedule and then go back to a little bit more normal hours most of the time. Yeah, same here, man. And then we had Bellator 206 over the weekend, Combate over the weekend. Both great events. Drove up to San Jose. Love the drive. This time we did more of the farmland type of
Yeah.
scene.
We even stopped by a couple farm sheds.
Yeah,
for
picked up some nuts and
fruit.
fruit. The drive up to San Jose is great. I love anytime we get into one of the Bellator events. I love Bellator. I love their production, the people, the PR people. They're great, and then they take care of us, pretty well. But the drive up there, I love the drive. We love to drive. A lot of the media members, they fly up there.
Yeah.
But we do the drive. We stock.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. We load up on some drinks. We load up some food. 5 hours ish, a little over. Not bad.
Yeah.
No, it does kind of drain on you once we get there. Then you're tired from driving so much. But I think the fights get us pumped up again.
Yeah. I think
And then-
after the fights, you feel the effect of
Yeah.
the long drive and the long, because those fights, like we get there at 4 o'clock and we don't get out of there till like midnight.
Yeah.
So we're there for like 7-8 hours.
I love San Jose. I was telling you on the way back, we're like, if there's ever a reason or an opportunity to move up there, I probably would consider it. I wouldn't be upset about it. I like the town. I like the city. I like the outside neighborhoods like Silicon Valley. You got a bunch of like Fremont. You got a bunch of like little towns outside of the downtown area.
Then you about like
It's cool,
45
man.
from San Francisco and about 30 minutes from Oakland.
Oakland, or no, actually Santa Cruz, maybe.
Santa Cruz, yeah.
Santa Cruz, 30 minutes, under an hour. You have San Francisco from San Jose, under an hour. It's not bad. I know it's a little bit expensive up there because you have Silicon Valley and you have all the big tech companies up there. So it's a little pricey to buy a home, especially near San Francisco. But San Jose is cool, man. It's a chill town. I love it. Over the weekend, Bellator 206, Combate was a great event. Combate is great. The event was decent. You had the venue was cool, the pyramid. They are doing these one-off 5-minute round tournaments that they're starting, the Copa tournament. I think it throws a little bit fans off in terms of the marketing, because it's like they change their name up every event.
Yeah, and not just that, but with the Copa rules, no one explains the rules of how it works.
It's 5-minute round.
Yeah, so you're there watching a fight thinking there's 2 more rounds and there isn't. It's a one and done, and it kind of throws you off. It's a bit frustrating when you have your info sheet that it's all mixed up, so you don't know who's
Hmm.
fighting. But they need to at least explain some of the rules. If they're gonna imply certain tournament rules, you need to tell the
Yeah.
audience how it works.
Yeah, and I don't think they do. I mean, I think on the so their social media and all that they do. I'm sure that you can read into it, but I would say casual fans going into it are probably unaware of how the structure is of the tournament. Um, and then the event itself is decent, but you have mixed that those one-off rounds mixed in with a regular card, and it's
They
just
should have like
it's confusing a little
their
bit.
undercard, their prelim card, all in one setting, maybe 4 fights.
A break, which they do, I think, a
Yeah,
break.
and then but your main card should be like 2, 3 fights, and then the last 2 fights you be a Copa fight, so you know
Yeah.
the call in the main event, how things are gonna
and
work.
and even though I think they that kind of they do mix their main event, it somewhat is structured like that, but they need to make it more clear. It's not that clear of what's going on. um
Because at one point we had the co-main event, and then we had an undercard fight right after.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, they that and their promotion, they do a lot of the Mexican promotion, and half their card or majority of their card is not even are you dying? Are you okay?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
My eyes are just burning.
Okay. So the hours, man, they get to you, man. And
No, my eyes are just
looks like you're
burning.
having a hard time.
No, my eyes are just burning. Sorry.
um, yeah, but the Copa event, and it's just it's all jumbled together. They need to
Yeah,
do a better job of explaining it.
yeah,
I
but,
think
but you're
they're
right.
I think with their next big event, they're gonna have all it's gonna be all Copa, so it's gonna be 8-man single elimination tournament. That's I'm what I gathered from their interview on the MMA Hour. That's what they were talking about, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's weird when you see 2 fighters going to the cage and you see your promoter kind of rooting one fighter on. I
Yeah,
mean, if I was the other person, I'd be pretty pissed.
yeah, because they do cater to more of the Mexican clientele and or their fighters, and it's not half their card, majority of the card is not even Mexican, and it's just like you're alienating all these other fighters, and you're making them feel that they're not, up to par with the rest, what you're looking for in terms of promoting your
Because it,
fighters.
it was that girl fight. I forget their names, but the one from Mexico City,
Yeah,
the undefeated girl.
yeah,
When she was coming out, I mean, you can clearly hear Campbell ringing her on, saying, "Come on, yeah, you can do it, you can do it."
yeah.
And like,
Did you see?
how did the girl
I
feel?
don't think you saw their interview on the MMA Hour. So Alberto Del Rio is kind of like is
He's
he
the
like a
president.
VP or is he president?
He's the president.
He's great, man. If anything, he should like run majority of the comp. I don't know what he's doing, how much involved he is, but I know he's planning to come back for a one-off fight. But he is, I think, is great, intelligent, great speaking, great speaker, bilingual. Good looking, tall, kind of guy, and just has a presence to him. And then on at the interview, you had Campbell right there, and Campbell did he was unnecessary. You didn't need him
Hmm.
to be there. And I thought Alberto Del Rio will be a great person to kind of lead that company.
Yeah, I'm sure he was just there because he likes the limelight.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I don't know. That was Friday. Saturday we drove up to Bellator, and Bellator was a fantastic event. I mean, I loved it. Every time we do that card, the undercard was great. The main card was amazing. Um, yeah, Aaron Pico. I mean, we can defeating Higo, looking like a world beater. I'm telling you that there's not one fight or fighter. Anytime he fights, like I'm like, ooh. Anytime he throws a punch and it lands, it just you cringe. You like, ooh.
Yeah, because he throws with bad intentions.
He throws with bad intentions and it lands, and he's accurate and powerful, and it's just like he's
He
so
moves forward
impressive.
too.
So impressive, man. I'm like, anytime he's throwing punches, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like that hurts, man.
Yeah,
But Aaron Pico, great job with him. Douglas Lima taking care of Korishkov. What can you say? I think he's mentally in his head. He beat him before, and Korishkov was kind of taking it easy and going more for takedowns and stalling up against the cage. And Douglas Lima eventually capitalized in the later third round and took him out, choked him out. Then you got Quentin Jackson and Vanderlei Silva. That fight, I wasn't even typing at that time. I was just watching. I had to watch that fight. That's a historic fight right there.
Yeah, that's it. The fourth
The
meeting.
fourth meeting.
He was 0-2 in Pride. Rampage wins it in the UFC. Now he wins in Bellator.
Yeah, great event. Well, that fight in particular was a great fight. I think both those guys showed up. They came in with a fire and bad intentions, and that rivalry and that animosity for each other really showed in the fight. I think it was probably their best performance for each of them in a long time.
No, but it was crazy, being able to sit cage side and watching those
Mhm.
fights, you know, play out right, right in front of you is insane.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
especially that fight. I love that fight. That was such a great fight. And Quentin coming out on top and
Well,
TKO and Vanderlei.
the fact that we got to witness a lot of fights from the heavyweight Grand Prix, we witnessed Roy McDonald winning his bout in
Yeah.
Bellator, and
Yeah.
now we witnessed a super fight, their first super fight.
Yeah.
I feel very fortunate that they're able to say that I was there live for a lot of those fights.
So you go with the main event. You had Rory McDonald and Gegard Mousasi, a super fight middleweight champion versus the welterweight champion. Rory moving up, trying to go after Mousasi's middleweight title, and it did not work out for him. Mousasi showed and reminded the world how good he is, and I mean he just steamrolled Rory McDonald. I mean, there's not much more you can say about that fight. Rory had like minor, small moments of success with like some strikes and some kicks, but Masasi just walked him down, jabbed the shit out of his face, and his nose started getting bloodied up. Eventually, they got to the ground. Musasi eventually took mount and pounded him out, and that was it. It was done within a round, right? Or two?
Yeah.
2 rounds?
I think I want to say one
I
round.
want to say
no.
the first round, right?
Yeah, 1 round. Yeah,
I got to look into it. I don't remember if it was the first
yeah,
round
no,
or second
no,
round.
It was the first round.
But it was, I mean, a one-sided beatdown. That surprised me, in the fact that it was so one-sided. I don't know how you felt. I don't know if it surprised you that it was so one-sided.
I mean, although people were favoring Masasi very heavily, I think it is a surprise that it it lasted the way 1 round and how dominant Masasi was.
Yeah,
Just because the kind of road that McDonald's been having and the success he's been having, but Masasi just showed. Don't forget about me. He just told everyone not to forget about him because he's a force to be reckoned with.
yeah. I mean, he was calm. He did not have any expression on his face. He just jabbed the hell out of Rory, forced him to go shoot for a takedown.
I never seen McDonald be handled that way.
Yeah, I have never seen him. Yeah, never by any fighter, middleweight, welterweight. Never seen him been handled like that. I mean, Musasi just dominated him from the opening bell. That event was like probably one of the best events, and it was the first one on the Zone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how it did in terms of the numbers. I'm not sure of like how many people really subscribe to DAZN. I'm sure it's not going to be a giant number. I think both events that weekend, Combate and Bellator, were both on DAZN. So
yeah, unfortunately for the UK fans, they couldn't watch the whole main event because Peppa Pig kind of took over the screen.
yeah, I heard about they talked about in the press conference that I guess the feed cut off at a certain point.
Yeah, there's a law in the UK that when it reaches 5 in the morning, that's programming time for kids. So
And they just cut it off.
Yeah.
They don't even like extend the time at
so
all.
any rating above, I guess, G
Yeah.
can be shown. It's against the law. It's a law. It's against the law to be so. They cut Masasi and McDonald, and I'm sure fans are pretty pissed, and they got Peppa Pig instead.
Yeah, because in the UK, the fight was not on DAZN. It was shown on network television.
Yeah, Channel 5.
Yeah.
And it was live.
So I think they sorted that out, or they're gonna work on that issue. I'm not sure how they're gonna work around that issue, because if their event starts at a certain time here, and it's normally that time, how is that gonna affect their UK fans? And because it's most likely always gonna get to that point of past the 5 a.m. mark. So I don't know. But otherwise, great event, great weekend. We had a lot of fun catching up with our media member friends. Bellator is always a great event, so I will always be there. This weekend, UFC 229, Conor Kabib. It's finally here. It's fight week. They just had their open workouts today. I think they probably have a press conference tomorrow. Weigh-ins on Friday. You excited, or is it just kind of like they didn't do a whole lot of promotion for this fight, so it's kind of just sneaking up. It's
Yeah,
kind of just we're just easing into it, so there's not a whole lot of anticipated build up and press conferences.
yeah.
And
I think for Conor fights, they usually like put it in the crock pot, and you got to wait for it, and you get excited. You see the world tours, you see the promotions leading up. For this fight, they kind of announced it, and it's here. You
yeah,
had no really anticipation built up, but I'm so excited because you're gonna watch
I think the
two of
fight
the
sells
best,
itself.
yeah,
Yeah.
two of the best fighters in the at 155 go at it, especially with their rivalry and everything. But yeah, I'm excited. But I think a lot of people um, will probably be more excited if they kind of
Yeah.
build it up long term. But it's fine. Connor can sell a fight if he fights in 2 days. So
Now, I think majority of the casual fans out there are aware of the fight going on, so I think it's going to do pretty decent in numbers. But I don't know what you think in terms of if it's going to break a certain mark. I think Canelo and Triple G was like 1.1. Do you think it's going to break 1.1?
I think so. I think it's not gonna. It won't reach 2 million.
I don't think it'll reach 2 million. Well,
Connor is saying that. I mean, Dana was saying that
Dana's saying
it's
I think
trading 3 million. But yeah, whatever. That's Dana.
yeah, I mean, there's a possibility. I could see it, but I just
The only person I trust with numbers is Dave Meltzer. He's shown that he's like the king of pay per view numbers.
and is he? What does he project? Is he? Does
He's
he
not
put
even.
out a projection?
He's saying that it's going to be less than 1.5.
I could see that. I could see like a 1.5, 1.3.
Yeah,
Just barely breaking like the Canelo Triple G too. I could barely see that.
he's the only person that I would trust with because
Yeah,
he's consistent with that.
because they really only had a month or so, a little over a month of announcement and build up.
Hmm.
They didn't do a whole lot of promotion for this fight. There's a couple of promos and one press conference. So um, we'll see in terms of the numbers. I don't think it's going to do that well, but
I
it's
think
gonna it's gonna do probably the best one of the year
I
for
think
sure.
Nate and Connor too sells more
Yeah, I think so too.
just because Nate, he's also like a promoter. He kind of promotes a fight too.
Yeah, and Khabib's not really well known with the casual fans, and
Yeah.
he's not necessarily the greatest promoter.
Mhm.
So, um, yeah, I think, and also Connor didn't want to do a whole lot of promotion for this fight, so it is what it is. The fight's gonna sell itself. That's mostly just word of mouth. Hey, Connor's fighting Khabib. Who's this Khabib guy? Especially with casual fans, who's Khabib? Who's Khabib? I get asked that about a lot. Like, oh, how's this guy? How's the fight gonna play out? Who's the guy? I tell him it's you got the best of the best in the division on opposite spectrums of the fight game. You have the ground specialist and you have the striking specialist, and you have this gray middle area where Connor's got some ground skills and Khabib's got some striking skills, but it's that gray area of seeing who's gonna really dominate that gray area. So
Who's gonna show their strength more in the fight?
yeah, yeah. So we'll get to predictions soon. That's happening this weekend, and also announced I think today or yesterday. I forgot, I already forgot, but it's UFC 230 New York main event was announced, and that was
It's white. It's white. You can forget about it. It's not
yeah.
much.
I mean it's now I was telling you earlier that I was not surprised by this. So it's Valentina Shevchenko against Salita Eubanks, Ultimate Fighter contender. Um, Not really well known with the casual fan. Not at all well known really with the casual
Both
fans.
fighters.
Yeah, both fighters, even Valentina, and then just barely with the casual with the hardcores in terms of Eubanks. Um, it's for the flyweight title, I think so, right?
Flyweight, yeah.
Women's flyweight
Yeah,
title.
women's
So
flyweight.
when this got announced, it didn't surprise me at all. I think leading up to the announcement of this around this time, I knowing how the owners are and how they've been stacking these cards and putting in main events and with title fights. Everybody was speculating that it's going to be John Jones, going to be John Jones, going to be some big announcement, a big event, big fight. Cormier Jones, Gustafson Jones. Um, After a while, for me personally, I don't think we didn't have a really an episode to really discuss this, but I didn't think I thought they were gonna screw us over, and I figured that they were just gonna throw a title fight in there. I even knew I my choices in terms of what I thought they were gonna go with was Chad Mendes and Henry Cejudo, or Valentina, and put that a title fight with her and give her a chance to get the title, and they went with that, and it didn't surprise me. So now you have Dustin Poirier and Nate Diaz in the co-main event with Valentina Eubanks as a main event for the vacant flyweight title. And I think personally, I think this hurts the card and it hurts the viewership, and I don't think really it's going to do well at all anymore.
I still think it's gonna do well just because Nate's fighting.
Yeah,
I think,
there's
I think, I
a good
think,
chance. It's
I,
gonna decent,
I think
but
Nate and Poirier are gonna is the people's main event, and I think that fight is gonna make pay per view
yeah.
buys, especially with the hardcore fans.
What about Rockhold and uh and Weidman?
No, no,
That's on the card too.
yeah, I don't want to see that fight. I don't want to see that fight either.
No.
It's
Yeah,
past its prime.
yeah.
I think people are gonna buy this card for the Nate and Poirier fight.
Do you think the putting that main event is hurts the viewership, or does it kind of stay the same?
It kind of hurts it, but then you have the co-main event, so I think that's gonna help it too. So
Yeah.
it's 50-50.
Do you think people are gonna pay for it? That's the thing.
Yeah, because Nate Diaz is fighting. Nate Diaz is a superstar.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But that was a big news over this past day or two, and I think a lot of people took a lot of people by surprise.
I think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna be as successful as the previous MHG cards. I
No.
think it's gonna be the least successful, but I think it's gonna be. I can see 100,000 buys or so.
Yeah, and I don't even think it's going to be as successful as if they just had Dustin Poirier and Nate Diaz in the main event. I don't think it's going to be that successful, as successful as if they would have just went with that as a main event. So, with that scheduling that as a main event, I just doesn't. I mean, I don't know what the owners are thinking anymore in terms of how they're running this company, the IMG, people. I just don't think they know what they're doing. I don't know if even Dana has any say about what's going on. And it seems like all they care about is putting title fights, title fights, title fights. That's it. Doesn't matter who's in the card. That's it. They just want to bank on having title fights.
And yeah, Dana has full control of it. He said it himself. He's in charge of booking fights, and they don't question him. They kind of let Dana do whatever he wants to do as far as booking fights. So if you're gonna put the blame, it's gonna be Dana. It's Dana's fault.
But I'm sure they have to give them some type of direction. Like, hey, we
Yeah, I'm sure they do. But at the end of the day, it's Dana's decision what to do.
yeah.
They give him that freedom.
I mean, who knows, man? It's just in the trend that they've had and the way they toss around these title fights. It was never like that before. So that's why I'm thinking that they told Dana, if you could put a title fight, do it, make it. We just like the title fights. You do what you do, but just if you can, number one priority, title fights.
Yeah,
And
probably.
it just seems like that's where they're going, and
Can
it's
you imagine like the sport dies and like there's no more MMA because of it?
it's a possibility, but I don't think it'll. I don't think so. I think it just ruins the integrity of a sport, especially with hardcores. But um, aside from that, I don't necessarily think it's going to hurt the business all that much, because casual fans are still aware of it. They still see it as a competing sport with boxing, or even sometimes even better than boxing. And so it's always going to be there. It's just with hardcores, you're losing that integrity of the sport. It's almost gone at this point.
Yeah, especially with the
So
belts.
yeah. And what sucks too is that the way they manage this stuff, the fact that Joanna came out saying that she didn't even know that they made this switch and that they did it last minute, and she pretty much found out. Basically, she found out on social media, and it's just like, how can you run a business like that and treat your champions and opponents like
Yeah,
that?
that's why people go to Bellator.
So she comes out with a statement saying that they want her to move it up to November, and that she didn't want to do that. She wants to take the time, to leave it for December. She wants to be able to train for Valentina, because Valentina beat her in kickboxing before. So it's like she wants to put the time in. She doesn't want to be rushed into it. She's like, if I valued money more, I would definitely take the fight sooner. But she's like, I don't value the money as much as my career, so I'm gonna, I want to put the time in.
And they want a title now. like what Ariel said was saying, they can just put Nate and Poirier as the main event.
Yeah, which I think they should, and then it's not like either one of those two women have a title to defend. It's basically they'll just give them the title after the completion of the fight.
And they're talking about like titles, like the titles. I mean, they want to sell titles and have that title on the poster, but when it comes to Valentina and Eubanks, like who cares?
Who cares exactly? And who
Like that title. I mean, it's not necessarily the title. People are intrigued by the fighters, and when people see Valentina versus Eubanks, they go, "Who's that?" They don't
Yeah.
even see the title. It's okay. Well, it's not like people are like only buy pay-per-views because there's a gold belt attached to the poster. It's who's fighting that night is what people buy to fights.
Yeah, but that's the direction that they're heading in. It's just like they feel somehow they yeah. It doesn't really change things. It's more of matchups that really people really care about.
Yeah, when they see Valentina Eubanks, they say, "Who the hell is that?" I don't know. Or that's the main event. Or I don't want to buy it.
Yeah. So that's yeah, exactly. So I mean, if you had Joanna and Valentina in the main event for the title, that's a good main event, respectable main event. And then
Oh,
you
yeah.
have Dustin and Poirier co-main event, and
Especially
you have
because Joanna was a long time strawweight champion.
yeah, that's a respectable. But then you insult people by just throwing in Eubanks. Just she's barely new. This is her first, I think, her first legit fight in the UFC. Maybe her second legit fight.
And how did he even pick her? It blows my mind.
I think because I think she beat Montano in the Ultimate Fighter. I think she beat her at some point, and then she was supposed to fight Roxanne, or she was supposed to fight in the main event,
No, because I think Montana won all her fights because I watched that season.
or Eubanks actually missed weight, and then that's why Roxanne stepped in.
Yeah,
It was something like that.
think
So
that
she was
was
supposed
it.
to fight Montano. So she was already kind of like, I guess,
I think have Roxanne fight Valentina. At least she has somewhat of a name.
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
But yeah, people don't buy fights for a gold belt. They buy fights because the fighters who are participating in the fight.
so talking about title fights and all that, the UFC, the rumors are, or at least Daniel's coming out saying that UFC is looking to strip him of his light heavyweight title, um, and giving it to Jones, or putting it up for a vacant,
Yeah,
as a
it'd be
vacant title.
Jones and Gus.
Jones and Gus fighting for the lightweight title, and he's refusing to let that happen. I think if anybody can kind of refuse to let that happen, it'd probably be Daniel. Would probably be one person that can fight against the UFC a little bit.
Yeah, he did, and then at the end he said that he's fine with it. That him and Dan talked it out, and he's okay because he said that Dana said he's gonna fight with Brock. So he said that the agreement was that he gets a chance at the winner. So he said that at first it was really tenseful, but he said that he doesn't care anymore because
I mean,
he
because
still gets to fight Brock, and he's guaranteed the winner of that fight.
yeah, and it wasn't. I think eventually, at first, I think he was considering defending the title between that and the Brock fight. But I think as time has gone on, nothing was shaping up for him. So, and he's not looking to give Jones an immediate title fight.
Mm.
So I think since he's not going to defend it, I think I guess he's going to just give up, vacate the title,
Yeah,
and
that was the agreement between him and Dana.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. You can have Jones and Gustafson just fight for the vacant title, and then that person.
It does, but it kind of sucks knowing that. I mean, so why agree to let Dana fight for the heavyweight title if your plan was to strip him right away?
Yeah, but that's of the light heavyweight title. They're stripping him, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying he walked to the heavyweight title as a light heavyweight
Yeah.
title champion.
That's what
So
they do.
why agree? Why let him even compete for the heavyweight
Yeah.
title when knowing that you're going to strip him right
Look,
away?
look what they did with Connor too. Right after he fought Eddie.
And Connor's different because Dana White's saying that he's still champion, which is a
Yeah.
slap in the face to Connor. I mean, to Kabib and to anybody else, and to Max Holloway.
Yeah, but
saying that you guys aren't champions. He's our champion.
but they took his title away like a month later.
Yeah, and yeah, no, you're right. And then Dana saying, okay,
And
well,
Connor was upset about
give
it.
his belts to him. You heard what Dana said. Give
Yeah.
him his belts.
Yeah.
So Dana's saying that he's
Well,
still
because I
champion.
mean, Connor wants it. You just give Connor what he wants. But I mean, Connor was upset at the fact that they took the title away from him like the next month after he won it from Eddie.
Yeah.
So it was like
I don't know what's the big deal letting someone be a dual champion and
I
let
don't
them
know.
defend at when they are ready to defend. I
Yeah.
don't understand that. just because they can't defend it right away, you gotta automatically strip them or create another stupid fake title.
Again, it all goes back to the new owners thinking of title fights, title fights, title fights. It's
Yeah,
a
what they're doing, they're devaluing that belt where it doesn't mean
yeah,
shit anymore.
yeah, exactly. And then you have I mean, another news. So you have Darren Till moving up to middleweight. You had and then I don't know what you think about that in terms of him moving up to middleweight. Is it a good move for him?
I mean, I think everyone expected him. Anyone who was following his comments before and after, he was saying this is his last fight at welterweight.
Yeah,
And he was planning to go. So yeah, I was expecting him to go.
yeah. I didn't think it was going to be this soon. I
He
thought,
said it during the
yeah,
fight with Woodley that this is
yeah.
his last fight. He's gonna vacate the belt and go to
The
185.
cut's too much for him, huh?
Yeah.
I like him at 185. I think he'll be a good addition. I think size wise, he'll start to he'll be even with a lot of the guys. He'll be more comparable, and the matchups will be a lot more interesting. I think. Um, but yeah, I'm excited to see how he does in the middleweight division. Now this weekend, you obviously have the big fight, UFC 229, Conor Kabib. Uh, might as well just start with your prediction right now.
And you
What do
also
you
have
think?
the Super Showdown with Triple H versus Undertaker
Oh yeah,
on
that's
their
it.
WWE network. um, I'm gonna go against the grain and I'm gonna pick Habib.
I don't think it's going against Green. He's a favorite right now.
Well, I mean, the smart bet would be Connor because Connor is gonna just knock him out. I think, but who knows? But I'm just gonna go on out on a limb and just say Khabib.
Yeah.
Just for not just for fun, I guess.
I personally, I understand why Connor's the the not the favorite in this fight. Um, skill wise, and okay. So advantages for Khabib. It's a 5 round fight. He doesn't his cardio is not an issue. His ground game is probably second to none. Um, he's got enough stand up skills to find openings with the takedowns,
And he's been active.
and he's been active. So he's got all that going for him. Connor, he's got the footwork, the knockout power, and the accuracy with his hands. Um, he's got decent skills on the ground and takedown defense. Decent. I don't know if it's a level in terms of defending for a long period of time against Khabib,
Yeah,
but it's decent.
I think he's a better athlete.
Yeah, and I think he's probably a better athlete.
Athleticism.
Yeah,
I mean, I think.
intelligent fighter too.
People underestimate how good of an athlete he
Yeah,
is, and I think because of that skill alone, helps him win a lot of his fights.
and size wise, I think it's fairly even in terms of size wise. I don't think Connor or Khabib have much in terms of height or reach
No,
on each other.
I think Connor has 4 inch reach advantage
Yeah, he's got a little
on the
bit longer
hands.
arms,
Yeah,
huh? It's gonna be interesting, man.
74-70 is the reach.
Okay, so those are in terms of weighing that out. But negatives for Khabib, his striking isn't up to par, and his footwork isn't up to par. So he could get cracked, and he does often get touched. Um,
He's very flat footed.
yes, Connor's Connor's
Cardio.
cons is his main one is his cardio and the level of his takedown, his wrestling, his takedown defense, and all that.
Or getting it from his back.
Yeah, I think he'll be decent, but against a level of person like a higher level like Khabib, how long can he last? I don't know.
I mean, have you seen those training videos when he's like punking and picking up DC and out grappling DC Velasquez
Yeah,
and Rockhold?
and he's not a small guy either, so
Dude, Velasquez couldn't get it off of him.
it's gonna be
DC
interesting.
couldn't get him off of him. Rockhold couldn't get him off of him. That's crazy.
It's gonna be interesting, man. So this card is great, man. You have Ryan LaFleur, Tony Martin, Nick Lance, Gray Maynard, Yuna Kunitskaya versus Lena Landsberg. That's on the Fight Pass card. You have Scott Holtzman, Alan Patrick, Tanya Evinger, Aspen Ladd. You have Vincent LeCue versus Jalen Turner, Jussier Farmiga, Sergio Pettis. And then kicking off the main card, Felice Herring, Michelle Watterson. Who do you have?
I like Felice in this fight.
I like Felice too. I think, yeah. Derek Lewis, Alexander Volkov.
Derek Lewis, knockout.
I'll go with Alexander Volkov. Dominic Reyes, Owen St. Preux.
Dominic.
Dominic. I'll go with OSP. Actually, no. That's a good card. Dominic Reyes is pretty good. Have you seen that guy fight before? He's a big guy, dude.
And then OSP has been not the same fighter.
Yeah, that's true. I'll go with Dominic Reyes. Tony Ferguson, Anthony Pettis.
Ferguson.
I think, I think Ferguson. I think it's gonna be a short fight. 1 round, you think, or it's gonna be dragged out
under 2.
Under 2. Khabib, Connor. We just decided that. You going Khabib? I'll go with Connor.
you never gone against him, long.
No, I don't count against Connor. I'm a fan of Connor.
I mean, so am I, but I'm just going for the hell of it.
Yeah. No, I'm a Connor fan. I stopped doubting him a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm not doubting him. I'm doing it for fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think it's honestly a toss up. I think it's gonna be who can dominate that gray area between the two. So that's pretty much this weekend. That's a big card this weekend. All the attention's gonna go to that. You have
like it's not a great card. It's just top heavy.
It's a decent card. It's not bad though.
It's okay. It's an okay. I say it's an okay card.
You have recognizable names at least.
Yeah.
You have one championship this weekend. You have KSW.
I feel bad for those promotions.
I know, right? I mean, well, this weekend's one FC or one championship is Shanae Aoki versus Eve Ting, and that's in the main event. So that's not a bad main event right there. That's going to be free on the one championship app. You download it, just streams free, no logins are necessary. Just download the app. PFL this weekend and KSW, and that's pretty much it, man. So we will be back next week with a brand new episode. Recap UFC 229. Aside from that, it's good to be back.
Yeah, it's been a while. It was fun talking about this card.
Yeah, and we'll be back next week and see you guys all soon.